Hi everyone, Mary Martinez back, and now we get to see QuickBooks Ledger from the accountant's perspective. The first area that is always looked at when you come into any QuickBooks Online version is the left-hand navigation toolbar. As we know, this is a special version of QuickBooks Online, so there's going to be different things available to you here on the left-hand navigation. Another area that is common looked at is in the gear settings under account and settings, which is where you'll go ahead and start setting up this QuickBooks Ledger account. Lastly, you'll want to look at each one of these columns to see what is available as a QuickBooks Ledger user. But let's go ahead and start here on the left-hand navigation so you can understand what's available to you in this version of QuickBooks Online. First, under the new area, this is a great way for you to see the key options here in QuickBooks Ledger. Again, it's a cash accountability tool, so it does want you to be able to account for money out. So those transactions could be one of the transactions under the vendors column. You also can add contractors, so that's why they're under the team column. And of course, money in transactions are going to come in as bank deposits, transfers, journal entries, and so that's going to fall under the other column. So using that same logic, when we're going down this left-hand navigation toolbar, if you're familiar with QuickBooks Online, one area that you may not see is sales. That's because this is only capturing cash in and cash out, money in and money out, but not necessarily customer information. So you won't see sales and customers, but you will see expenses, and you'll have the full expense center here. Now, when we talk about expenses, again, we're referring to expenses from a money out transaction perspective. So you're going to see vendors, but you're not going to see the opportunity to create accounts payable, but you can track your contractors, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to come back to the left-hand navigation and go to the most important part here in QuickBooks Ledger, which is pretty much the most important space in any QuickBooks Online account, and that's the transactions area. You have full access to the transactions area as you do in other QuickBooks Online versions, meaning you can connect accounts, you can upload transactions, you can reconcile, and of course, you have access to a chart of accounts, which is where you're going to make sure that transactions are getting posted to, so that way you can create accurate financial statements. Let's take a moment here and talk about the chart of accounts. I absolutely love that my chart of accounts is super lean and clean, because then I can choose what I want to do next with my chart of accounts. I can start creating a default chart of accounts. I can import a chart of accounts, or I can take advantage of the very powerful accountant's tools, which is to go ahead and import a chart of accounts template through the QuickBooks Online Accountant dashboard. So let me explain to you what that process is. If you go to QuickBooks Online Accountant, you want to make sure that you are aware of this very cool tool available to you on the QBOA, QuickBooks Online Accountant dashboard under Accountant's Tools, and that is your COA templates, your chart of accounts templates. Yes, you can create templates that are going to be able to be imported into any customer inside of your QuickBooks Online Accountant dashboard. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly create a template. So as you can see here, I have one template created for a service-based business, and I called it template number 1. If I want to add a new template, I can click on add new template, and it's going to give me some default options on what type of chart of account template do I want. Do I want it for a product-based business, a service-based business, or do I want to create that template from scratch? In this case, I'll just keep product-based business and click on next. What's going to happen here is I'm going to have a very basic and generalized product-based business template that I can go ahead and start from. And of course, I can edit it as needed. I can add account numbers if I want. I can add new accounts. I can add new sub-accounts. I can also edit what is here, and I can remove some as well. In this case, I'm just going to keep this as a basic template, call it template number 1, and I'm going to save. Now I have two separate templates here. Now, again, I have not moved out of the QuickBooks Online Accountant dashboard. You can clearly see this as I'm still having the light gray bar here on the left. But what I want to do is open up my service-based business template. And if I want, I can take a quick look at it. And it says here, editing this template won't change any chart of accounts where you've already applied it. So this would be just taking a quick look at the original one here in the chart of accounts template. And if I feel like this is a great one to add to a particular client, I can either save it as it is, or if I made edits, I can save it as an additional template. I'm going to close that now. And now I'm going to apply the template. That means I get to select a client to apply this template to. How awesome is that? So let's say I want to apply that template to our new QuickBooks Ledger account. So as you can remember, the QuickBooks Ledger account was super lean and clean a moment ago. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this and go back into my QuickBooks Ledger account. So I'm going to find my client. I'm going to find my QuickBooks Ledger account. And I'm going to go back to the chart of accounts. I can find it under transactions, chart of accounts. And now I have that full chart of account template in here. What's also really cool is that, of course, I could have had my own chart of accounts template that I've created using a CSV or an Excel, and I could have imported that as well if I wanted to do that, or I can use that really cool Accountant's Tool option of the QBOA templates. It's completely up to you. My favorite part of this entire option is that it gives you a lean and clean option, and then you can grow from there. Let's keep going. Another awesome option is that you have access to the client overview page in a QuickBooks Ledger account. You also have the full books review feature in QuickBooks Ledger, which is the feature that is used to completely walk through a client's books every month and for year-end process. If you haven't looked at the books review process, you can take a look at the Pro Advisor training that specifically covers the books review. So very exciting to have that full functionality inside of a QuickBooks Ledger account. Under dashboards, you have the same dashboards that are available for clients, which is Get Things Done in Business Overview. Under expenses, as we mentioned before, you have access to the Expense Center. Under reports, now that you know the importance of bringing in that chart of account templates and assigning accounts based on the chart of account, then you'll have access to the applicable reports for you to start filing those year-end accurate financial statements. You also have the ability to turn on payroll in time if you'd like, and you have this really cool taxes area here as well, where you can do some work around year-end filing, income taxes, and 1099 filings. So to wrap it up, this is a lean and clean version of QuickBooks Online, and it's a great option for those accounting, bookkeeping, and tax professionals that want to keep their clients tax ready year-round. We're going to move on now to the client's perspective of QuickBooks Ledger. See you in the next video.